You know the feeling, you're in a conversation, you say your piece, and then nothing, just silence. That awkward, gaping hole that feels like it's about to swallow you.
Right? It's that universal, cringy feeling. That sudden conversational lull. You can practically feel the tension in the air, and your mind just goes completely blank. You're left scrambling thinking, what do I say next? And your brain just kicks into overdrive, doesn't it? It starts replaying everything you just said. Was that dumb? Did I sound weird? Oh, why did I say that? The internal panic just starts to spiral.
But hold on, let's just pause and reframe this whole thing. What if that uncomfortable moment wasn't a problem you needed to fix? What if, instead, that silence was actually your secret weapon, a tool you could use on purpose to command attention and project this incredible, calm confidence?
Okay, so to really understand how to use this power, we first have to figure out why we're so desperate to fill that quiet in the first place. It really comes down to instinct. We're pretty much hardwired to fill silence. It feels like this social debt has been created, and our gut reaction is to pay it off as fast as we can by just talking, anything to relieve that tension.
And here's the wild part. There's this huge disconnect between what we think we're doing and how it actually comes across. We think, phew, I'm saving the conversation by filling the void. But to the other person, we're actually weakening our own point and just kind of giving away our power by rambling on.
So this brings us to the solution, the 3-second stare. It's a super simple, deliberate technique that's designed to turn that silent moment from a weakness into your greatest conversational strength.
So, how do you actually do this? Let's break down the 3-step blueprint for mastering the stare. And trust me, it's way simpler than you think.
Now, really important point here before we dive in. This is not about some creepy, aggressive stare down, okay? The whole goal here is calm, centered confidence. It's about quiet control, not making people uncomfortable.
All right, let's get right into step 1. This is the foundation. This is where you intentionally create that space for the silence to do its thing.
First up is the delivery and the stop. You make your statement, you ask your question, you state your price, and then you stop. Just stop talking, completely. Let your last word just hang there in the air. You have to fight every single urge you have to add just one more thing.
Okay, now for step 2. This is the core of the whole thing. This is where the magic really happens and all that social pressure starts to move.
For the next 3 seconds, you just hold gentle, neutral eye contact. It's not a glare, just a patient, focused look. Now, to you, it's just 1, 2, 3 seconds. But to them, it can feel like an eternity. And in that moment, the pressure shifts completely from you over to them.
And finally, step 3. This is the anchor that locks it all in. It broadcasts your confidence without you even having to say another word.
You anchor yourself, physically. You stay completely still. No nervous, shifting around, no tapping a pen, no fidgeting. Your physical stillness sends this powerful, nonverbal message that says, I am 100% confident in what I just said, and it deserves a real response.
And that's it. That's the magic. In just those 3 little seconds, the entire dynamic of the conversation flips. Your words suddenly have more weight, the other person is forced to actually think about what you said, and you gain control.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but where can you actually use this? Let's look at a few real-world, high-stakes situations.
Just think about it. You're in a tense negotiation. You state your offer, then stop. You're in a big job interview. You give your killer answer, then stop. You're having a difficult conversation with someone. You let the emotional weight of your words land, just by stopping. It works anywhere that clarity and conviction really matter.
All right, so for those of you who are ready to take this to the next level, let's talk about a pro tip to really fine-tune this skill. And then, I've got a simple challenge for you.
So, if you want to soften the intensity of the stare, try this little move. As you're finishing your 3-second count, just add a slight head tilt or a very slow, deliberate blink. It's a tiny gesture, but it completely transforms the stare from a demand into a curious pause. It shows you're genuinely interested in their response, which is a total game changer.
So here's your challenge. I want you to find just one opportunity this week to try this, just once. Lean into that initial awkward feeling and just watch what happens. Just notice how the whole vibe of the conversation changes.
You know, ultimately, this all comes down to one core idea. Speak less, mean more. Real power isn't about how many words you use. It's about the weight and the impact that those words carry. And that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Look at your week ahead, your next meeting, your next important chat.
Where are you going to use your first 3-second stare?